Hej och välkomna tillbaka. Vi ska fortsätta i programmet. Nu lyssnade vi på fastigheter och nu ska vi gå över till mer teknikorienterat och lyssna på ett teknikbolag som heter Adventurebox. Presentationen kommer hållas av Christopher Kingdon. Välkommen Christopher.
Tack så mycket. Då är det dags att starta. Ja, tack. So we had many requests for an English presentation. So this presentation will be held in English. My name is Christopher Kingdon. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Adventurebox. Over the last 20 years, I've become somewhat of a veteran of growth companies. I've been part of 5 acquisitions, and now in December, we did an IPO for Adventurebox on Nasdaq First North. Adventurebox makes it easy and fun to make, share, and play 3D games online. And making and sharing might look something like this.
Adventurebox is a new game engine that runs in the browser. With Adventurebox, anyone can make and share their own games. Use our library to create unique characters. You can even import your own Minecraft worlds. Place portals to connect to the other worlds you've created. Publish your game and share it with your friends. See you at adventurebox.com.
We've started with one specific look and feel for our initial target audience, which is boys and girls who are 8 to 15 years old. And it might look very cute, and it is cute, but what is a bit more than cute is the business opportunity. If we compare with other platforms, we can see that the computer game industry today has global revenues of about $152 billion. That's 3.5 times as much as the video industry and over 12 times as much as the music industry. When we started Adventurebox 6 years ago, computer games were only twice the size of video and 8 times the size of music. But computer games are growing rapidly. If we compare with some of these platforms, we see Netflix, for example, they share videos made by professional creators. Spotify share music made by professional music creators, and Steam share professionally created computer games. YouTube is the leading sharing platform for amateur created video, and SoundCloud are trying to take that position for music. We, Adventurebox, we want to become the globally leading sharing platform for consumer-created games. This market position should have a size similar of that which YouTube has within the video market. We estimate this market position to be in excess of $1.5 billion of annual revenue. You might ask yourself, why is such a huge market position still open? And the reason for that is that the technology required to be the globally leading sharing platform for consumer-created games, this technology has not existed. This is the technology we have invented and we've built and we have been awarded a patent for. Now, the first thing a sharing platform must support is naturally easy sharing. Over the last couple of years, the giants of the computer game industry have understood that they too must stream their content. Videos and music have been streamed for years, but most computer games still today require a download and an installation. Downloading and installing is a huge barrier. Somewhere between 60 to 80% of visitors will not download. That means that you are 250 to 500% more efficient in turning a visitor into a user if you do not require download and installation. Adventurebox have been working with streaming tech for over 6 years. We have a technical advantage over other game companies. If we compare with Google Stadia require a minimum of 10 megabit per second. We, Adventurebox, require a maximum of 350 kilobit per second. This does not only mean that we're much more dollar effective, that we're cheaper for ourselves and for our users, but it also means that we reach a global audience. Google Stadia can be used by maybe 350 million users, and AdventureBox reaches all the 4.5 billion users across the globe that have access to internet. A second aspect of being a sharing platform is that it should be easy to create. We have built a unique 3D engine that makes it really easy to create and share content. And we have this platform patent protected. In essence, we have a patent on the combination of easy making and easy sharing done in any type of scalable fashion. Now, some people say that it's difficult for a small company to protect their patents against big global actors. This is not true. I have personal experience from 3 cases where I was an expert witness where the small company won against the global company. We can protect our patent, and it's a huge patent with many applications. A third important aspect is the social aspect. If we compare with, for example, YouTube and TikTok, these are 2 streamed video platforms. They grow rapidly. And one of the reasons they grow rapidly is that if you see something fun or interesting, you will want to share that video with your friends. If we compare with Spotify, Spotify is also streamed, and even though Spotify has fabulous retention, they grow rather slowly. This is because Spotify is a radio you listen to yourselves. Most people do not share their Spotify playlists, and therefore Spotify grows slowly. Roblox is a competitor of ours. I'll soon talk more about them. Roblox requires a download and an installation, and therefore they grow slowly. Roblox was started in 2006. They've now reached 100 million active users and revenues of close to $500 million per year. These are fabulous numbers, but you have to remember that we're on internet where there are 4.5 billion users, and a service such as YouTube have 2 billion users. Now, computer games are a bigger market than videos. A successful mass market sharing platform for games should be larger than what YouTube is. Yet Roblox only have 100 million users. They reach about 2% of all users who have access to internet today. This is because they require a download and an installation. And because they do, they will never be the mass market solution to sharing consumer-created games. AdventureBox is going after that position. Now, how do we reach it? Well, we reach it virally. We reach it by having users telling their friends about us and by having idols telling their fans about us. And here we're working with a special type of idols, Minecraft YouTubers. The initial look and feel of AdventureBox will remind you of the hit game Minecraft, or indeed of our competitor Roblox. It's built on these Lego-style cubes. Now, if you're a Minecraft user, Minecraft is like a virtual Lego, and you built something nice that you want to show off to the world. That's rather difficult because Minecraft, as Roblox, is downloaded, so what you built exists on your computer. The solution to sharing that most have used is that they make a screenshot video of their creation, and then they share that video on YouTube. Such Minecraft videos are shown 1 to 5 billion times per month on YouTube today. And some of those who create these videos become idols, like Stampy Cat, the cat on the side of the picture here. He has almost 10 million followers who watch his videos. The most common question these Minecraft YouTuber idols get is, could you share your file with me, your Minecraft world file with me, so I can play in your world? And most of them don't want to share because then they lose control. AdventureBox have built a special interface where a user can upload what they created in Minecraft into AdventureBox and turn it into a streamed computer game. These YouTubers can upload their popular worlds to AdventureBox, and then they can make a video, and they can say in this video that, hey fans, now finally you can visit my world. Just click this link, and when the user does, they're immediately transported to their idol's world, and there they can meet their idol's character and play with him or her. This is a good way to kickstart our viral spread. Now, we're seeing some indications of viral spread. To make it easier to share, this summer we introduced the ability to not only create and share computer games, but to also create and share the components with which computer games are built. That could be a piece of furniture, a house, a tree, or a weapon, or any detail that makes up your computer game. Prior to this possibility for our users to create their own game components, we, AdventureBox, the company, had created almost 1,400 game components for our users to make games with. Since the introduction of the ability for our users to create their own game components, we've seen a steady increase. We now have more than 200% more game components, and we see no end to this growth of game components. We've also seen that a larger number or part of the games made are published and shared. Back in March, less than 10% of made games were shared. Now, about 27% of made games are shared. This means that people are proud of their games and they want their friends to play their games. We today release this number, which is rather interesting. The average game creator at AdventureBox is creating more games. It used to be that they created, in average, 1.5 game per game creator, and now they create 2.5 games per game creator. Now, why am I showing all these numbers? Well, the interesting thing here is that if you add them together, you can see, and you can do the maths yourself, but if each shared game has 7 new users play the game, if we get 7 new users for every new game, assuming that 1 in 4 users would make games, then for every user we bring to the platform, we would earn slightly more than 1 additional user. That is a viral tipping point condition. It means that your growth becomes organic and exponential. Some of our games have several 100,000 plays. So getting an average of 7 plays for games would be a reasonable target for us to reach in a not too distant future. Now, we shouldn't only have lots and lots of users, we should also make money. And we have different business models we work with. The first model we've worked with is the advertising model. For about a year, we've tried different types of banner ads. And since this summer, we also do video ads. We've done some trials. We've seen really interesting payment for our video ads. We reached $18 CPM, that's payment per 1,000 views in the USA. And that can be compared with what YouTube typically gets of $6 to $8. This summer, we also introduced our platform currency, AdventureBucks. You can buy AdventureBucks with your credit card or your parents' credit card or with a PayPal transaction. And then you can use your AdventureBucks to buy game components and other content on the AdventureBox platform. We're working on establishing 2 different subscriptions offerings at the moment. One of them, the Pro, AdventureBox Pro subscription, allows you to convert AdventureBucks in-game currency to real-world currency, so you can earn a revenue share for the revenue you create for AdventureBox. And the other subscription is an academy, AdventureBox Academy, where you learn about how to create computer games. We will certify some of our AdventureBox Pros such that they become teachers and coaches for our academy members. And today, we've started revenue sharing. We do manual revenue sharing with a few selected users, and we're working on optimizing our revenue share so we can revenue share with many more users. A couple of weeks ago, we had a press release about some of our early recipients of revenue share. One of them was Archibald in Nigeria, who had just made over $100 of money from AdventureBox, which I think is a good amount of money in Nigeria today. If you want to calculate what you think AdventureBox will be earning in the future, you can turn to publicly available sources, and you can learn that it took Roblox 3 years to reach their average revenue per user of $5. And you can look at the growth numbers for example, YouTube and TikTok. We have communicated that we have sort of a goal or a vision or a first step on our journey, which is defined as reaching 300 million users and earning $5 per year for those users and having $1.5 billion in revenues. Now, what are we doing to reach these goals? Well, we are working on our platform to make sure that it meets all the criteria required to have us reach this viral tipping point. And we're working with influencers to kickstart our viral spread. As we move forward now, we're establishing more partnerships to help us market across the world. We're already globally available. We're played in almost all of the countries in the world, but we're only available in English and Spanish. And we need partnerships to help us market in different languages. Then we will expand to different game types, to different target audiences, different looks and feels and styles of game. Now, the team behind AdventureBox is very senior. My co-founder, Cleo Hayes-McCoy, is a mathematician and programmer from the Irish Trinity University. Cleo built her first 3D engine for the Stanford Particle Accelerator, NLAC. Dan Greening, our head of product development, is a PhD in computer science from UCLA. Dan has created and sold 3 companies in Silicon Valley, and last summer he moved to Sweden to join AdventureBox. Hans Richter is a very senior CFO. Dmitry Sapelkin, our product manager, has worked with computer game companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, since 2005. And Richard Reblom is a very senior online marketing manager. We also have a very senior board. We elected 2 new members at our AGM in May. Urian Fried is our chairman. He was the CEO of Trade Doubler, for example, which is the company that the Spotify founders founded before they founded Spotify. Jason Williams had been a senior manager in computer games for over 20 years. He was really born into computer games. His father used to be the CEO of EA Games. Claes Karlborg have handled global licensing for companies such as King and Rovio, that is Candy Crush and Angry Birds, 2 of the world's largest games. Now, to summarize, AdventureBox has an absolutely enormous potential. You will struggle to find any other share with such a potential. Now, even though our target is to grow at a rate similar to that of YouTube and TikTok, every piece of content published on our platform could be our Gangnam Style moment. Remember that video from South Korea that in 6 weeks reached 1 billion views? We too, in 6 weeks, could reach 1 billion users. Now, our competitor Roblox have over 100 million users and they're valued at $4.5 billion. If we had 1 billion users, what would be our valuation? That's my summary. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Christopher. We move on in the program, and I have a couple of questions, if I may. When you describe AdventureBox, do you think this will be an entirely organic built company, or do you need to strengthen your platform by acquisitions maybe, or different way to strengthen your organization going forward?
Thank you for your question. Yeah. No, I imagine that we will aggregate this space, and we've actually started doing that in a little bit, in a way. So there is a competitor of ours called Kogama, and they have built a solution based on the commercially available platform Unity. So they don't have their own technology, and this has become expensive for them. So they find it difficult to move forward. And as a result, their CEO, Michael Benson, now since a couple of weeks back, work part-time for us. And what his job is to promote us on the Kogama platform. So we're moving their users over to AdventureBox. And over time, I think that some expansions of our look and feel and different game types will be something we develop ourselves, and others will be created through partnerships or acquisitions of other companies.
Okay, but that is in the future, right?
Yes.
You talked a little bit about partnerships to enable you to grow. Could you elaborate a little bit about that? What you're looking for? What kind of partnerships do you foresee?
Yes. So, actually already in February we sent out a press release about a letter of intent we wrote with PPW in Hong Kong for the Greater China market, and so we're working on that relationship because we feel that for Hong Kong, China, Macau, Taiwan, it's difficult for us to act ourselves. So it's helpful there if we can have a joint venture with a local partner that knows the marketing channels and who is able to market well in that market. And for example, I do spend some weekends with Google Translate, where I'm in dialogue with. This weekend it was a 12-year-old girl in Argentina, and I'm sure there are other people than me who have knowledge of Spanish who would be better at supporting our Spanish users. So we need sort of partnerships in all markets that know how to market in those markets.
Yeah. And the business you made for China, that's that kind of type of agreement you think going forward will be, very
exactly.
interesting. You elaborate a little bit about your business model. Do you think this is the final version of how you will earn money in the future, or do you think you will add more puzzles to your business model?
Well, yes. Now we will be adjusting this all the time, and it's sort of difficult to figure out where we'll end up. We have an advisory board. I didn't mention that, but it's quite senior as well. And one of the members is Martin Sandberg of Spotify, who works with their premium offering. And he's mentioned that when they started Spotify, Daniel Ek thought that it would be all advertising revenue. And now, Martin corrected me after my last presentation, it's now 46% of Spotify users who have the premium subscription. Yeah. So actually it wasn't advertising, it was the subscription that became the successful model for Spotify. Similarly, when I do my numbers, I think that the advertising model will be the dominant one, but we'll see.
Yeah. When it comes to premium, I think all content providers, I mean, from YouTube to Spotify to whatever, which Netflix, for instance, everybody's trying to create premium products or subscription-based products. Do you think that will be the future for you as well, or is it difficult when it comes to games? Do you think, or could you?
I think we can learn a lot from those who succeeded in similar platforms before. I think YouTube is very interesting because there's lots of, like, Disney owns the Maker Studio. PewDiePie belongs to the Maker Studio. So there is sort of a separate, really professional content creator for the YouTube format. So I think we will see sort of indie game studios that use us as a distributor, if you will.
I think you're listed in Sweden now, but I think maybe in the US there are more companies like this. You have no plans for a dual listing or any ways to market yourself outside of Sweden, since you're an international company, or are you satisfied with your Swedish listing?
As a company, we're never satisfied. We always want more. So that's a good idea. It's not something we're currently planning.
No. I have another questions when it comes to how you will grow, and you described it a little bit. How is going forward your finances? How much money do you need to pour in to keep your platform modern, versus how much you need to pay influencers and ads and stuff that makes your company grow? Could you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yes. I mean, we held our costs under strict control over these 6 years. So we've raised in a total 6 million euros to the company. And most of that historically has been product development. And we're spending, one can see in our quarterly report how much we're spending on marketing, but it's a small amount right now. So we're doing sort of little marketing experiments. If we had more resources, we would prioritize growth over profitability. But with our current resources, it's important for us to monetize such that we have stable finances going forward. And as the current situation is that the board has the right, the AGM has delegated the right to the board to conduct right issues, but we have no decision for any right issue at the moment.
Okay. I mean, you have a strong board, and I think a little bit. I was thinking about your presentation and this curve, when the growth. How big do you think you need to be until you get a very strong recognition of your brand and your company? Do you think you need to reach a level, or or is it something as you described with the Gangnam style, or how do you think going forward? I mean,
yes, it's difficult to tell because sort of the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and so I already think we're really handsome. But but what will it take for other people to understand what we're doing? I don't quite know. I think that when our growth starts to accelerate, that people will notice that they can sort of follow the curve upwards and see where we'll be in a not too distant future. So who knows? Maybe a few more months.
Yeah. Okay. Jonathan, I only have one single question left. Time is flying. But when it comes to technology, if you have this huge interest for your platform, how is your operation? How have you made your operation set up? Because I mean, it's not a downloaded product. It's entirely based on the web. So
yes.
How is your operation?
Thank you. Yeah, and this is actually the strong point, really, in our company. We're a tech company at heart, and we have real tech experts in the company and this strong patent-protected technology. And it's all about that. It's about being efficient on the server side and on the broadband side. So when we started the company, the first prototype, we could run 5 users on one big Amazon server. And then when we implemented our patent-protected technology, that improved by about a factor of 1 million. And I mentioned the broadband capacity as well, which is well below that required for Google Stadia. Today we're hosted both with IBM and with Amazon, and we're moving more towards Amazon. So we can scale at the same pace as Amazon can scale for us. Having said that, if you remember this Pokemon Go game that had Google and Sony behind it, still do, they had problems to scale up their servers when they grew, I think, to about 700 million users very rapidly. So I think, I foresee that even though we're building everything to be auto-scalable, in the end, Amazon or IBM will have a difficult time to keep up with us.
Yeah, but I mean, still, if you work with cloud computing, it's not you will not risk your shareholders' money, right? You can scale if you have the demand for so
yes.
So you don't have a big operations. You hire big operations if you need, right?
Yes, in the future, I mean, there's a point where Facebook is running their own server server center up in northern Sweden and so forth. So, happy problems for the future.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much, Christopher. Our time is up. Thank